Hey guys, and welcome to King Arthur Legends Rise. It's a brand new game that Netmarble and Kabam have developed. It's just gone global launch. You can get it on PC and mobile. I'll give you all the information about how you can download it later on. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be taking a first look at the experience of King Arthur. We're going to be looking at what it is like to play this game, the legends available. We're just going to be doing a bit of a let's play, kind of like my first experience with it. I have been playing it for a few days, so it's kind of like my first, second impressions, if that makes sense. And we're going to be focusing specifically on the core gameplay, which is the combat and the hero leveling. So let's get into it. King Arthur Legends Rise. Of course, if you're British, I'm British. I grew up on Arthurian legends, especially being a Welsh person in Britain. King Arthur is very synonymous with Wales. We've got all the Knights of the Round Table. You can see all the characters, all the legends in the game here. We've got Merlin, Morgan, Gawain, Guinevere, Lancelot, all of the characters, but also some you probably don't know as much about in terms of Ain, as well as Sigrund. Some other legends as well, which is very cool. We have got quite a number of characters on this count so far, but I'm going to give you kind of like an impression on how the battle goes and what I really like. We're going to be diving into some story and showing off the battle system using the characters that we have here. So if you have just gotten started or you're like, okay, show me the game really starts in the storyline. There is 10 chapters of story that you can experience. Once you finish the main story, there's a hard and a hell mode. I haven't even unlocked hell mode. And then you go into the adventure. Adventure is very cool. It's like an open world experience where you explore the different environments. You have an extension of the storyline. You're repairing the lands after Morgan has wreaked her destruction upon it. And it's all built within the Unreal Engine, which means that it can take advantage of some pretty next level visuals and graphics for a mobile game. I'm playing on PC right now, but you can absolutely play this to the same experience on mobile. So I've built up a couple of heroes so far. I've mainly been using Bedivere. He is an amazing sort of damage dealer, but absolutely a great damage dealer that you can be using as well as, of course, Arthur. You'll start the game off with Arthur. And the key thing to know about heroes is there's two main components. You have sort of the leveling of the hero where you can level them up and rank them up. Right now he's a level 31. You'll need to rank him all the way up if you want to use him fully and get his full power. And then you can also awaken them to unlock additional equipment slots. The other system here is Chivalry. This is a duplicate system that massively improves the strength. It gives them more passives and features and abilities. That's the kind of the first aspect of management, right? You level them up, rank them up, and then they get a unique weapon. This weapon is where their abilities come into it. Whether you've got King Arthur here, you will have two weapons to begin with, which is going to be the fire and the wind weapon. I've got the fire weapon here active, and it's going to do a lot of single target damage. So I'm going to show you Cernunnos. This was the first time I was like, wow, in the game. This is a boss battle where we're going to be fighting Cernunnos here, which is a key aspect of the story. He becomes one of the farmable bosses later on. Now, when you're building your team, you get to pick 4 characters. The first thing you need to decide is who is going to be the leader. This is someone who's going to give you a leader bonus to all of your characters. Now, I have been using Ain because I get critical strike rate, but you can absolutely use someone like Arthur here, who gives you max HP, and a couple of other raises, attack speed as well, which could make you go faster, effect, accuracy. I just prefer critical strike here, so I'm going to pick Ain. And right now, my main damage dealer is Bedivere, and I have been using Turin to pair with Ain because of the pairing that these characters have. And I'm also going to bring Arthur into this fight here. This is the character you guys will be sort of experiencing. Now, there's a couple of things to note before we get into battle. There is an elemental system. Every weapon will have an element. You need to use elements to your advantage. If you are strong, you have an advantage. You will gain 25% bonus damage over your opponent. If you are disadvantaged, you will have a minus 15%. Now, in this experience here, the boss actually has no elements, so there is a neutral environment. So therefore, none of these things matter. But if we were fighting a flame opponent, someone who had a flame element, then obviously we want to make sure we're using frost, because if we use wind, we're going to be dealing less damage. It's going to be a disadvantage. The second thing that is cool about King Arthur that I've been enjoying is the environment system. Every battle will have some form of environment. These environments pair with your character's preferred environment to fight in to give you bonus stats. You can see for this battle, we've got night and rain, which means that any hero, any legend here that likes to fight at night will gain a 30% damage bonus, a 10 attack speed, which is effectively how quickly you are in battle, and you take 5% less damage. You can see right now, it tells you the characters that conform. These are the characters that prefer to fight at night. And we also have a night and rain effect. So rain gets the same bonus. And you can see the characters here that get this effect. Now, I haven't picked anyone here. I've picked only these sort of situations. There are some things that are cool about characters, specifically Turin. The reason why I like using Turin is she forces the weather to night and rain all the time. Whether or not it's day, blaze, or whatever, I can force the night and rain. So if I really want to use someone who prefers the night, then I can get away with it by forcing those. None of these characters do. Like if I was to change out Bedivere here and maybe bring in someone like Rain, beneficial here. I think also he prefers the rain. There's a couple that prefer the night. For example, Sigurd here prefers to fight at night. But we're going to stick with Bedivere here. So let's start the battle here. The battle is very cool. There's 2 camera views you can have. When you're fighting bosses here, we're in cinematic camera, which is this cool, uses all the Unreal Engine. There's 3 speed modes, and there is an auto play mode here as well. You can also tell the fight, you know, I only want you to use these different abilities in the battle. Now the battle here kind of revolves around the vigor system. There aren't really any cooldowns. I like this. There's no cooldowns on the abilities, but you do need to charge up your attacks. If I want to use this 3rd Inferno Strike, it's going to cost me 3 vigor. If I use it now, my next character probably can't use their 3 vigor ability. There's 3 abilities here. So let's have a little look, see what this is going to do. Awesome visual graphics. Absolutely smacks the leg. So I'm going to put it on ×1 so we get to really experience the battle here. We are defeating Kernanos, the boss. Now, I'm a little bit strong for this. The first time you fight this is going to be extremely hard. It took me ages to beat this boss. So you can see every single time we take a turn, we charge up the vigor. If I was to use Arthur's double strike, it would also give me another vigor. I have a passive here. I will get critical strike damage for 1 turn at the start of the battle. So I've obviously already had this. So I'm going to use his second ability here to absolutely smash the leg, and when I do that, it's going to weaken the boss. So you can see it's fallen over. Now Bedivere has an insanely powerful ability here. He's going to hit this in 1 turn. You'll see it will absolutely puncture the boss. We're going to go through his barrier, and we have killed the first phase of the boss. I think this is the first phase. This is where things get a bit crazy. We have some cool animations. The Unreal Engine, I've never seen it used in a mobile game to this quality. It's very cool. So he is summoning this portal. Amazing. So Kernanos has become a massive creature now. Okay, so we have phase 2 of the boss fight here. This is really hard. The first time you do this when you're playing the game, this is really difficult, but it does become easy. You can see I've changed it to night. We can always see the effects of night appear, and we can see which characters are having it, which is really cool. Let's go and use this ability. Turin's going to give me attack speed up, which is what we like. So you can see what I was saying about the vigor system. Because I used all of the 3 vigor in the previous fight, I no longer can actually use the other abilities. So you've got to be careful when you're fighting here, because if you use the vigor at the wrong time, you might not have enough damage that you need to go through. Now I'm going to do this. This is going to give me buffs and remove any negative effects. And then we're going to puncture the boss and take him out. Victory. Every time you win, you get like a cool cutscene as well, which is awesome. And we get some rewards here. We're going to get some Perfect Fairy Stone used for Heroes Advancement, which we need. So pretty cool battle system. I kind of like the environment, the elements, the way that heroes can sort of choose whether or not they want to go to disadvantage. Because the big thing about the weapons, every character will start with 1 weapon. Every legend, when you get them, will start with 1 weapon. But if you want to change them, you have to go and summon these weapons. But the key thing is the way that the way you use your legend will change. Right now, I've got Bedivere using his frost weapon. This is a very strong single target, focused. He does have an AoE here. But if I was to go get the wind weapon, see it changes the weapon out. He now changes a little bit. So this is still a single target. He gains increased attack for 3. But this now is in a single target as well. And it will ignore 10%. So if I wanted to just purely invest in single target, the wind is going to be stronger. When I go to flame, we go in still single target on both of these abilities, but this is now a 2-hitter, whereas on the frost one, it's a single hitter. So the weapons will solve your element problem, but it may create other problems. You need to keep that in mind when you get these extra weapons. Make sure you check whether the abilities really work. In some cases even, those become so much more powerful. I'm really on the hunt for Jillian's frost weapon. With the frost weapon, we get a chance to heal all allies. Each ally here, 30% chance You don't get that with the fire weapon. So some of them could be quite powerful in terms of the upgrade. Now, the other thing I've really enjoyed about King Arthur so far is the sort of progression hero building and also the city building. I'm a massive fan of like city builders, turn-based RPGs, and there's little aspects and vibes of this because you can basically upgrade you'll be repairing Camelot. That's the storyline here. We're going through Arthurian legend. We're restoring Camelot to its former glory. We're sort of defeating the machinations of Morgan. And as you start progressing through the campaign, you will upgrade and unlock further buildings, right? We have a forge where we can craft equipment. Equipment crafting in this game, so far from what I've seen, is super important. We have a marketplace. And as you progress, you're increasing and improving these rewards. So I'm upgrading my Plaza Fountain to basically give me more regular experience on an AFK setting. And I kind of like this sort of targeted focus. You can see it's telling you I need to go complete these stages, then I can upgrade my castle to the next tier. And there's a royal road that kind of like tells you what the next things you should be doing. So lots of cool progression aspects. And there's still a lot for me to learn. I've only just started playing some of these dungeons as well. So there seems to be different things I need to be doing every single day. There's a brand new hero event dungeon, which I think has just gone live with the new expansion as well that I've been exploring and playing a little bit of. So yeah, that is King Arthur. I love the visual styles. I really enjoy the combat. The vigor system is really interesting. I'm learning the next stage now, and I will be doing a few more videos on some tips and tricks to basically focus where you should be progressing, what you should be doing, and a bit more of a deep dive on some of the key systems. So there you go, King Arthur. Now, if you've liked what you've seen, you want to play this game, if this is your vibe and you really like Arthurian Legends, I absolutely recommend. If you love any form of Arthurian Legend, I would recommend you play the game just for the story alone. It's a really fun story. You can download the link right now in the description and the pinned comment. You will find a link to download the game. You can download it on PC or Android mobile, and your account will cover progression across all of them. If you want to play on mobile, you can come to your PC later. All of your progression is tracked. Absolutely would recommend it if you want to play. And thanks again, guys, for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.